Hello everyone, this is Linkamus Prime, and this video is going to be set up quite odd, as you guys may be noticing already, but this will be a double review of the Transformers Studio Series Rise of the Beasts Core Class, Arcee, and Freezer. Now the reason this video is going to be set up weird is because I'm starting out in vehicle mode for Arcee, but I'm starting out in robot mode for Freezer. The reason for that is because Arcee is your kind of normal transformer, I like to go in my reviews vehicle to robot. For Freezer here, he is a weaponizer type robot, so he has multiple modes, and I'll get into that in a bit, but I figured it would be good to kind of do a double review of these two. But I do want to start off by looking at the Arcee figure, and the detail on this motorcycle mode looks great in my opinion. Sure, it's not perfect. In fact, this figure itself is not the best in terms of robot mode. Something I do have a bit of an issue with, there's some red paint bleed right there. Not much, not any right here, just on that one side. So not the best. I do have a bit of some scuffed paint right here, and it does scratch off a little easily, so that does kind of suck. But everything else is okay. It is not a horrible looking bike mode. It comes together fairly decently. Another thing that's kind of weird is how the hands just kind of stick out the back. But overall, in terms of the motorcycle that she turns into in the film, this is actually pretty accurate. And it does look good. It does roll like rolling things should, and the wheels are fairly loose enough to where they can roll nicely. There is a kickstand. You can actually have her just stand up like so. The kickstand is actually this part right here, which is a separate piece, by the way. This is, well, actually, I'll get into that when I get into robot mode, but it can help it to stand, so that is pretty cool. But in terms of just the red paint and some of the other painted detail, this is actually very nice. You get some silver for the headlights, you get some black for this little kind of windshield section, you get the molded in like handlebars here and the side view mirrors. Everything is just molded nicely. You get some gold for the rims of the tires on both sides, and you get a lot of nice molded detail in those little rims. So yeah, detail and paint is very, very nice on Arcee here. Now for a quick size comparison, here we have the Studio Series Arcee next to the Studio Series 100 Bumblebee, and they look good together. The main issue is Arcee is still just a bit too big in her vehicle mode compared to some of the other figures, like Bumblebee here, for example. And while they do look good together, she's just a little too big. Here we have her next to the Studio Series Cheetor, and they also look pretty cool together, and the Studio Series Air Razor. Transformation is quite simple. All we're going to really do is just take this part right here, the little kickstand, and just take it out, and I'll get into that in a bit. And let's begin. So first, untab this section from the back like so. It's kind of hard to get, but you can do it. So untab the arms from the back, just kind of bring that all up. Take the legs, split them right here, rotate them up, rotate them around like so, and like so. Bring this section back like that, bring the legs down, and then for the knees, all we're going to really do is just kind of straighten all that out like so. Take this section, there's a little tab right here that will clip into this little part right here, and you'll hear that snap into place like that, and then do the same thing on the other side. Rotate that up, click that in like so, and there we have the legs all done. Next, take the wheel, rotate it around, rotate the waist around, take the arms, slot them down like that, because it's on a kind of like a wedge peg right here. You can kind of see that shape that it has. Bring the arms down like so and like so. Take the head, bring it up, snap it into place, bring the backpack up, and bring the legs down. And there we have Arcee in her robot mode, and we can take this, add it, well actually, detail wise, that's the gun. You get like two little barrels there, you get some molded detail there. It's kind of bland, not gonna lie, but it does fit into her hand like so. And here we have Arcee in her robot mode, and this is not a horrible looking figure, but it does have some issues. Start off, just the proportions are a bit weird. She has these giant bulky arms. They aren't as skinny as they are in the film. The legs are kind of shaped odd. I do understand why that is, because, you know, the giant tires in the back. Also, the part that isn't accurate, and I actually have a fix for this, is there's supposed to be two wheels on the back kind of facing outwards. This is more so on the side, and I'm not the biggest fan of that, so I just kind of like to keep the tire out like so, just to make it look a little bit more accurate from the side. But having it flipped more so facing this way is more accurate. Just everything else, like just kind of the proportions of this figure are not great, but in terms of painted detail, it is actually pretty decent. So going in on the face, we do have the white for the head, this kind of pinkish color for the face, some black for the inside of the eyes, and the blue for the eyes, which does look pretty nice. We get some red detail for the chest, some white detail as well. We get a faux, this is kind of like a faux front part, so that's something. We get the faux windshield, we get the faux headlights, which are painted in a pretty nice silver. The kind of stomach area is painted in a kind of brownish black color. The legs are painted in red, and that's pretty much about it. Now, one cool feature about this figure is, you know, you can have her just stand regularly, or you can take these tire sections and flip them down like so, and like so, and you can have her stand on her tire wheels, and they can act like roller skates, and she is able to do that in the movie, so that is actually a really cool feature in my opinion. Now, articulation for Arcee is pretty simple. We get a ball joint at the head, which can rotate around like that. It's very limited. She can kind of look up, she can kind of look down, but that's really about it. Arms can move out about that much, but they can also move out even more due to this little transformation hinge joint. They can rotate around all the way like so. There is a bend at the elbow and a swivel at the elbow, and it can do the same thing on the other side. There is a swivel at the waist, a kick at the thigh. You can kick out that much, kick back you can kick back far, but this kind of hinders it. The legs can spread quite a bit actually, and you do have, due to this ball joint, just a tiny little bit of like thigh swivel, but that's it. Knees can bend about that much, and you could break them forward if you want to, but that is pretty much about it for Arcee's articulation. And for a quick size comparison, here we have her next to the Studio Series Rise of the Beast Bumblebee, Studio Series Cheetor, and Airazor. And now it is time to take a look at the core class Freezer, and I actually really like the paint apps on this figure. The detail, this kind of reminds me of Frenzy from Transformers 2007, just more terrifying, I guess. But the detail and paint apps on this are not too bad. In terms of the face, you know, it's very terrifying looking. You get some, it's molded in like a grayish plastic, and you get some like painted brown kind of stuff on it. The eyes are painted red, or not red, orange. The teeth are actually painted silver, which is a nice touch. The rest of it is gray, but painted in that kind of metallic brown wash, which looks really cool. Kind of gives it like an old rusty metallic look to it, which I like. You get some orange paint for these parts right here, some more of that kind of rusted paint, and you get some more of that on the feet as well. The rest of it is just kind of a dark brownish gray color, which is interesting, but the overall kind of look at this figure is pretty cool. Honestly, yeah, like I said, it kind of looks like Frenzy, but it looks like if Frenzy and General Grievous had a weird love child. So there you have that. Now here's my main problems with the figure. Yeah, he cannot hold a pose for the life of him, mainly due to this issue, and in fact the ball joints just pop off way too easily, and just the joints are so ungodly loose. But that's just been, I guess that's just the main issue when it comes to putting ball joints on a figure, I guess. But yeah, everything on this figure is just very loose, and he cannot hold a pose very well. I mean, you can stand him up, but you know, he's going to do the splits very easily if you set him down too hard. And it's not very fun to mess around with, in my opinion. It's probably definitely one of the weakest in terms of the Studio Series figures, mainly due to that fact. But I've pretty much, well, actually, let's go over articulation first. Arms can rotate all the way around. They can move out that much and in that much. Ball joint at the elbow, and it's pretty much the same for the rest of the limbs. Head can move up about that much, down about that much, and there's a ball joint at this point which can go all the way around. Look side to side, up and down, all that kind of stuff. Legs move forward that much, back that much. There's a ball joint in this section right here. Can rotate, and you do have a joint here in the ankle, which does the same thing, and that is pretty much the articulation. But in terms of transformation, he's got a few modes, so let's cover those modes first. So basically, take the head, straighten it like so, come around here to the back and bring this section up like that. There's this gun barrel right here that you want to flip out first, and then bring that around. Bring this section up and bring this part down and kind of lock that into place. So there we have that part all done. Next, take the legs and just kind of angle them back like that. Just very, you're just kind of, yeah, you're just setting them to the back like that. And then take the arms, bring these sections down, take this part, rotate it around like so, and keep that down like there. There's a little tab here and a little slot here, and that will just peg in to that like so. And just do the same thing on the other side. Rotate the elbow around, bring this section back, and tab that part in like so. And there we have his yeah, there we have that. And it looks interesting. It's something. It's a thing that it does. And yeah, so he's just a really scary cannon with a quad pod, I guess, whatever you would call that, and it does that. So that's it. That's the thing it does. The next mode that it can do is, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the arms and tab them from there and from there like that, and take the legs, bring this section up. There's a little slot here and a tab there. Just do that, do that, do that, do that. And now we're going to take the arms and just rotate this around at the elbow. And there's a little tab right here and a little slot right here. Just align that, and that will tab into place like so. And just do the same thing on the other side. Rotate that around, bring that up, and just tab that into place. Come on. A little finicky. There we go. Just do that. And so there we have that. And then next, take the arms and then just bring them up like so. Wait, what am I doing again? Okay, there we go. And just kind of bring them back like that. And there's a little tab there and a slot there. Just align that. Do the same thing on the other side. Rotate that around. And I'm really trying to do my best to not pop the arms off, because they can do that very easily. And last but not least, take this little section right here at the bottom and just flip it out, and that's the handle. And there you have his gun mode, and he can... Boom. There. You have that. And last but not least, his third mode. Just take the arms, untab them, bring them down, rotate this around like so, and like so, and like so, and there you go. And there's that. And that's supposed to be to store on the back of Scourge. But yeah, so that's what it does. And there you have Freezer. Cool. Now, in terms of comparisons with Freezer, here we have him next to Bumblebee, Cheetor, Airazor, and Arcee. And for my final comments on these figures, do I recommend them? Yes, but you don't really. I recommend Arcee if you want to complete your Studio Series collection, especially once they finish out the whole like main cast of the Autobots for Rise of the Beast. Because all we have for Studio Series so far is, in terms of the Autobots, is just Bumblebee and Arcee. We don't know what Optimus Prime looks like. We don't know what Wheeljack looks like, and we don't know. Well, we know what Mirage looks like actually, but we don't have like in-hand images of him yet. But Freezer, I would not fully recommend. He's just kind of there if you want to have an extra Terracon, and he's more so just for like army building, because there supposedly is going to be multiple of him in Rise of the Beast. So if you want to do like a little army building thing with Freezer, then go ahead. But I personally don't like. You don't need him. That's really all I'm trying to say. But Arcee, I would recommend. You know, she's a pretty fun figure. But some of the looks that we got at the new mainline Arcee kind of knock it out of the park compared to this one. And it's kind of weird that some of the mainline figures are looking a little bit better than the Studio Series ones. But not a huge deal, I guess. But there you go. But overall, these two retail for about $11 to $12. Would I say it's worth it? Nah, not really, no. But they're okay figures. They're pretty cool, and yeah. But anyways, guys, that is really about it for this review. I hope y'all enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.